Uh, Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Time to start with the next panel session. My name is Piotr Gawliczek, and I am privileged to chair this session. The session will be on education, training and challenges, and military environment. But firstly, let me thank and congratulate the organizers for make it happen as far as the idea to conduct the fourth conference on security issues. And this is of utmost importance to really say that Mirosław and Agnieszka really make it happen, and the conference is getting bigger and bigger. This is something really to say kudos for you. And I hope that the conference number 5, which will be held next year, hopefully face-to-face format, will give us more chances to interact and to exchange points, exchange views on many issues as far as the security environment is concerned. So just as by the way of introduction, let me start with the picture. As you know, the picture is worth of 1,000 words. Maybe this picture is worth maybe more than 2,000 words, but still, I don't know whether you are familiar with the context, but let me explain. This is the picture taken maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was circulated on social media, and it shows Fedir Shandor, a professor at Uzhhorod National University in fully army fatigues with his assault rifle on his lap, giving his students a lecture. Maybe the subject is not so ambitious. It's about the tourism, but the situation, the context really matters. And this is about the current education, the current possibilities or current technical issues as far as the educational process is concerned. So the image is really self-explaining, but let me add something. It was said by professor, well, lectures to students are sacred. They cannot be missed. The university said in a statement, adding that the professor enlisted on the first day of the war. This is something of unique importance. If there is a sound of shelling somewhere in the background, they did not affect the lecture, professor said. The sound is like a tractor driving nearby. I always give lectures near the dugout, just to feel safe and well protected. Just now there was shelling. I went to the dugout and continued the lecture. So this is maybe of symbolic meaning, of iconic approach as far as the current security environment is concerned. And this was the short introduction to this panel. And now I will be supported by Agnieszka. And let me ask to change, to switch, and to start with my presentation. Let me ask to launch my presentation. Poproszę o włączenie prezentacji. Mamy jakieś problemy techniczne, czyli Murphy jak zwykle gdzieś tutaj swoją nogę chce podstawić. Natomiast mam nadzieję, że tutaj nie będzie problemów z uruchomieniem prezentacji. Just I do hope that there will be no issues as far as the launch of the presentation is concerned. Just a second. Okay, so we are facing the technical issues, but I was told that the presentation will be launched as soon as possible. So it gives me really a chance to reflect on the panel, on the session. During this panel, you will have a chance to be familiarized with many issues as far as the ADL or e-learning is concerned, and about the teaching, etc., etc. Yes, so we are making progress, and the presentation will be launched. I hope soon. Yes, yes. If you could just arrange a full screen, and yeah, thank you very much. And could you please switch to slide number 2? Yes, thank you very much. And this is the outline of my introductory remarks. And my idea is to familiarize you with the concept as far as NATO Deep program and NATO Deep E Academy are concerned. Actually, not too many points, but if you could notice the motto I have coined about 7 years ago, and I'm delivering and I'm sharing as many times as possible and as too many audiences as possible. And even this motto was used during one of the conferences on e-learning organized by Polish University. And I think that it is even more important than previously, as far as the essence, as far as the idea of using the platforms within the military and not only military environment is concerned. And we all are not only scientists, presumably we are also the teachers. And there is a very, very specific and very unique situation around, because we have got many tools at our disposal. Currently, we are running this conference using MS Teams platform. And of course, there are advantages and disadvantages, but still we don't have a choice now. And I really like the phrase which was used by Professor Johan Narak previously, not saying please take the floor, but please take the screen. And I reflected that this is also kind of the signum temporis, not to take the floor, but to take the screen. But let's hope that the time will come that we will also have a chance really back again and say to really take the floor, not the screen, and to really interact and to be involved, engaged in the face-to-face activities. Yes, and you can see two small pictures. This is the coin, also of importance because NATO Deep is privileged to share coins. And it's about NATO Defense Education Enhancement Program. To the left-hand side, there is a lion from Chain Bridge from Budapest, and to the right-hand side, there is the logo of NATO. And from time to time, I have got the opportunity to share this coin with person I can meet. Now this is not possible, so let me symbolically offer each of you this coin as a way of introduction and familiarizing you with the NATO Deep philosophy, NATO Deep approach. Next slide, please. Poproszę kolejny slide. What is NATO Deep? You can see flags, but behind each flag there are many activities. And even today, there is the event hosted by the Kazakhstan National Defense University in Nur-Sultan, and two SMEs from NATO DP Academy are busy with ADL training session on administration issues as far as learning management system, LMS Ilias, is concerned. And to the left-hand side, you can see the Ukrainian flag. Yes, this is of utmost importance because we have introduced the full-fledged e-learning solution within the Ukrainian armed forces. It was huge, enormous effort, but we succeeded. And later on, you will have a chance to listen and to watch Colonel Maxim Tishenko, who is the director of the ADL Partnership Lab and who is the guru of e-learning within Ukrainian Armed Forces. And he will share his experiences, and also it influences the current situation. And last year, while sharing the update on the programs, I had the chance to mention about the Azerbaijan. No longer the Azerbaijani flag is available, but still there are 16 countries involved, and the newcomer is Colombia. 2 weeks ago, the entry visit was concluded, and now the official information is that Colombia is the number 16 member of NATO Deep program. And this is not the end of the story. Qatar is on the waiting list, and probably in the months to come, the visit will be organized or conducted to Qatar to identifying the demands or identifying the needs as far as the Qatar military education system is concerned. So just you can even test yourself and check your knowledge as far as the flags are concerned. If you are able really to identify each country, my congratulations. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, it's about the pillars. It's about the pillars, but also about the shortcut. I don't want to speak about details because this is not the right moment and the right place. You can see the link. After clicking the link, you will be redirected to the web page of NATO Deep, and you will be able to identify many activities taking place. But to the right-hand side, you can see the logos. And this is also of symbolic meaning for NATO Deep and NATO Deep the Academy. Ilias, this is the learning management system. We have introduced quite recently the latest version. It's 7.3, and this is very interesting that we are also able to customize this solution. And later I will speak about it. We are also able to translate the interface into Arabic language as a first entity of the world. So reasons to be really proud, but not to exaggerate. And you can see also the logo of Big Blue Button. Big Blue Button is video conferencing portal. And this portal gives us a chance in 2020, in March, to switch online. And NATO Deep program, as the only one within the NATO, was continued, and many events were organized. And it is nice to read within the annual Secretary General report that NATO Deep could really make it, and there is a flagship of NATO as far as the education support or education environment is concerned. And 2 more logos. You can follow us on Twitter, and there is also YouTube channel. Please enjoy. There are video clips available, and because there are new products also available. Quite recently, video tutorials were uploaded. If you're interested in using the Big Blue Button as a video conferencing portal, I do prefer, because it's very intuitive, it's very simple, and it gives us many chance to interact and to engage as far as the training education processes are concerned. Next slide, please. Yes, this is about the menu, the key activities we are organizing, we are introducing. This is the story which took place quite recently. And we were just able to gather experiences, because experiences are of utmost importance. And there was the idea to organize a kind of studies, kind of the advanced course on digital skills for teachers. And based on the needs expressed by many countries, many partners, we were able to organize postgraduate studies. It was really a success story, but one of the conclusions drawn was it is too long. 2 semesters, it's definitely a too long period to reach the expected results. You can see the partners involved in this activity, e-postgraduate studies. You can see European Security Defense College, NATO School of Bramegau, NATO Defense College, Allied Command Transformation, also Baltic Defense College, and also University of Warmia and Mazuri. Yes, this is something to tell at the beginning of the story, and searching for the best practices and adjusting to the situation. And next slide, please. Numbers. You can see also flags as far as the students are concerned, and it gives me a chance really to speak about one person from Afghanistan. Major Samim Sorosh participated, and now it was possible to transfer him to evacuate him to Romania, and it was really the proof of the efficiency as far as the approach to human beings is concerned, and just to see it from the educational and training perspective. 38 hours of recordings. This is not just shoot and forget activity. Everything is recorded, and anytime, anywhere, it is possible to reach out and to refresh memories. So now the story is gone. No longer e-postgraduate studies, lessons learned, and the new idea was launched. And the idea is about e-instructor certification program. Next slide, please. Yes, this is our newest, our current product. This is Magdalena Stabla, who will speak more about the substance, about the essence of this activity. But I must say that in general way that this is also one of the success stories. The program was shortened. It's only one semester, but it's really packed with a very interesting and very let's say current topic. And you can see NATO Assistant Secretary General certificate as a cherry on the ice top. And yes, so we are now in edition number 2, and we are going to launch edition number 3 from the new academic year. And even more, there is an extremely big, huge demand, and probably we will be able to organize 2 sessions, the morning one and the afternoon one. So it will give us a chance really to attract and to involve the approximately 60 students from many countries, not only from NATO deep, but also from NATO countries. Good morning, Professor Soboń. May I ask the next slide, please? I'm still continuing my presentation. Please confirm, do you see my presentation, or do you see Professor Soboń on the screen? Professor Soboń, maybe it would be better to disable your camera, because I'm going to continue with my presentation, but still I don't know what happened. Please, organizatorzy, proszę o powrót do prezentacji. If it's possible to continue with my presentation. Okay. Yes, so yeah, we are good. We are back on track. Yes, the previous one, the previous one, poprzedni. Okay, yes, okay, thank you very much. So this was about the e-instructor certification program. I don't want to speak too much about this, because it will be presented by, as I said, Magdalena Stabla. Next slide, please. And because I can see Professor Soboń is with us, now I will use the turbo approach, and it's about the training courses we are running, we are conducting now. It's about Big Blue Baton. Yesterday we have finished with 7 sessions organized for Bosnia and Herzegovina participants, H5P, micro-learning, we are now organizing 4-day activity, and slots are booked until the end of July. Multimedia, it's also very, very interesting. This is Justyna Kowalczyk who will speak about this activity. And also the slots are booked until the end of July this year. And Canva, this is new product, because we are always challenging ourselves, and Canva is one of the challenges. And also VR, virtual reality courses are something we are reflecting on. Next slide, please. Yes, what are also the key and strategy directions? We are converting courses. We have got many technical opportunities, and we are not only discussing, we are delivering the tangible products. Point number 2, translating NATO ADL courses into foreign languages. There is the iconic Cyber Defense Awareness Training. This is the product by Center of Excellence in Tallinn, and we were able to translate it into Bosnian language and into Arabic. And this is quite challenging, because Arabic is right to left language. Everything is just mirrored, but still it was possible really to deliver this product also in Arabic. And converting reference curricula to e-curricula, we are using Articulate 360 applications. So there are many products, but this is not of importance currently. And this is something just to say that we are able and we are just delivering many tangible products. Next slide, please. Poproszę kolejny. Yes, this is also one reason to be really proud of. This is the Iraqi learning portal. Please imagine that the whole higher military education system of Iraq is on, let's say, NATO Deep portal as a dedicated area, and this is the interface in Arabic, fully translated in Arabic, and there are hundreds of Iraqi participants from every institutions taking different courses available in English and in Arabic language as well. So this is just to say about this activity. Next slide, please. CALT. This is a computer adaptive language testing. This will be explained by Vicky Krikun just in the presentation after next. So I don't want to speak about this, just to show you that CALT, or just new algorithm, new approach to learning testing, is within our hands. Next slide, please. DEEP initiative. This is something new. It was launched actually at the end of last year, and I'm proud to announce that it is possible really to show and to upload the podcasts on many important issues as far as the current security environment is concerned, as far as global threats are concerned. And let me only name 2 persons who were interviewed by Professor Sarjan Gohel from London School of Economics. The first one is Tim Marshall, the guru of geostrategy, and quite recently Leon Panetta, the former Secretary of State of US. So please, if you click the link to the NATO Deep portal, you can identify those podcasts also in many other areas. Okay, next slide, please. Yes, it's about the tangible products. It was possible, and maybe this is kind of the introduction, and also to say about Professor Andrzej Soboń, who is instrumental and just the key person as far as this Polish version of this modernizing learning iconic book is concerned. So it gives me really a chance to show you that this is not an empty slogan. So this is the original version, and this is the Polish version, and also there is the Ukrainian version. It was possible to print, and considering the Ukrainian version, the preface was written by Deputy Minister of National Defense, and it was spread. And of course, also electronic versions are available. If you are interested in, please just check in many areas. Just use the name Traktat o nauczaniu, and you will be directly directed to the right area. And next slide, please. Yeah, this is about the strategy we were able to deliver. So this is the document, but it was a very interesting and very long process. And this is also the point to mention about Professor Andrzej Soboń. You can see to the left-hand side down the logo of the conference organized jointly by NATO DEEP and World Studies University. And it was about the reflections, about the lessons learned, about the suggestions. And as a result, the final product was officially announced. Pleasure to travel to NATO HQ and to officially present and deliver a NATO DEEP strategy for distance learning support. Something to really reflect and to introduce as far as your didactic and training activities are concerned. There are some links, but I don't want to launch the links because it would be too much time consuming. But still, if you are interested in, please watch the video clips on YouTube channel of the portal. Next slide, please. Oh yes, maybe this was the final slide, and it gives me a chance. Oh no, this is the. This was the link clicked, and there was a video from the conference. But let's skip this. Dziękuję. To może odpuścimy to, bo czas nas tutaj. Okay. Thank you, in deep regards. And finally, as I told you, we keep on challenging ourselves, and the challenge and kind of the obligatory activity is to be focused on virtual reality. VR is not an empty slogan. I can remember General Legins from NATO Allied Command Transformation, who is also starting his presentations wearing goggles. And this is kind of a signum temporis. I don't want to follow his approach because it could be ridiculous to some extent, but still it is something to reflect. And we are organizing also together with Professor Andrzej Soboń certain activities. The last was in March, and now we are also reflecting on how to make it happen. What are the shortcuts possible, and what are solutions possible? And let me quote my favorite phrase. So if there is a will, there is a way. So we have both strong will, and I think that it is possible to identify the way. Okay, this was it by the way of introduction, and now I'm going to invite each speaker, each person in accordance with the sequence shown in the agenda. But as you can notice, there is no Q&A session as far as the panel is concerned. So please focus on the presenters, on the speakers, and there will be possibility to ask questions right after the presenter finishes with his portion, with his speech. So now the first speaker, it's kind of the keynote speech within the panel session, is Professor Andrzej Soboń. Andrzej, if you could enable your camera. And yes, this is my role to introduce the Professor Andrzej Soboń, but please enjoy this nice picture. Maybe it will be self-explaining, and it gives me really a chance to say thank you very much, Andrzej, for our joint efforts. I spoke about the conference, I spoke about the tangible product, but the future really matters, and we should really focus on the future. And of course, to draw the lessons, to learn the lessons, and to really find the shortcuts, because shortcuts really matter. And if something is within our hands, we are really obliged to to continue. Andrzej is Dean of the National Security Faculty of the War Studies University of Warsaw, and we had the chance really to coordinate, to cooperate quite long time ago, but still very happy memories, and it was really the proof of the synergy which depends on persons, on human beings. Okay, I don't want to introduce you too much, Andrzej. So I think it is enough. Nice picture, nice background. So without any further ado, let me ask you to take the floor and to continue with your topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Piotr Gawliczek. Thank you very much for nice invitation. Also, all the words are true, because our cooperation starts several years ago and still under the e-learning, advanced distributed learning, and generally online. So I will try now to start my presentation if everything will working. So this one will be successful. If not, I will continue without presentation. So Professor, give me some time for preparing this presentation.
Yes, okay. It takes time really to launch the presentation. You know, it's not just click and just to have the immediate effect. Yeah, it takes sometimes patience, and sometimes it takes even a plan B to be introduced. But it is nice to say take the screen, not take the floor. And I would like to thank the organizers for launching the presentation and the picture at the very beginning. It was okay, and thank you very much again, because I know sometimes it's very difficult to launch. Murphy is waiting only for us, and now Andrzej is delivering the presentation. Yes, here you are.
Maybe now I will try to show presentation. I hope that all slides will working properly, and we have possibility to see some element, because I still remember your words that the one picture is worth 1,000 words. So once again, Professor Piotr Gawliczek, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And I would like to express my thanks to Director NATO DP Academy for inviting me to active speaker in such an important panel. I remember words of Piotr Gawliczek about the e-learning teachers. So for today I prepare maybe two other mottos, one which are from Sir Charles Clerk, who said that the only way to discover our limit is to exceed them by achieving the impossible. But also I have in my memory some term of director of the Academy, Mariusz Solis, who said that sky is the limit. So considering two motto and also the motto of Professor Piotr Gawliczek about e-learning teachers, I would like to present to you today the topic synchronous and asynchronous didactic higher education institution after COVID-19. After COVID-19, because now we are happy that we have beautiful weather and we can be happy with good weather condition, but also we have still in our brain the brutality of Russian soldier in Ukraine. So we are close, we cooperate with our Ukrainian friends who are also with us. So it is also time to say that our cooperation between Polish and Ukrainian people is still the best. So my topic is very important for everyone, for those of us who understand online learning as not just another educational technology to be used as a simple enhancement and maybe then let slide as something new comes along. Online learning is here and to stay and maybe is forcing teacher to reflect on the teaching and learning process and what constitutes effective learning. So after 2 years of COVID-19, we have learned or maybe we better say that COVID-19 has led to growing dependence on synchronous and asynchronous learning method. The experience we gained also enables one to state that distance teaching will remain with us to some extent, also after the pandemic will finish, will over. So some classes, some lectures might be conducted in this way. So considering this, it is possible to assert that the preferred direction with education will undoubtedly probably some kinds like hybrid learning. So I'm thinking about asynchronous learning with online meetings. So it is available to say about the hybrid learning. So during my presentation, I will present and stop, don't worry. I will not say, I will not be about the Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, Big Blue Button or other, because synchronous online teaching is after 2 years something like nature of most teachers in probably all of universities. So I will present 3 aspects. The first one is online learning, but asynchronous learning only. The next one is learning effectiveness. And also I will try to present for you 2 cases of asynchronous courses. So Professor, is still available the slide number 3 or something stop?
I can't say what is the number, but there is nice arrangement, nice lab and the equipment.
Okay, so it means that everything is working. So it is good because I would like to say that education is only new experiences, the early influence of online learning method. We remember 2020 when we started all of this activity, when some universities didn't prepare a strategy for e-learning for online classes. But in this regard, we have much to learn in how to use this technology for effective learning. It has been obvious that online learning has the potential to provide access for students, for learners to wide range of programs and information. What hasn't been apparent or at least not well understood is that online learning is more than means access to lots of information. It has the potential to significantly enhance the intellectual quality of, let's say, learning environments and outcomes, of course. So ultimately, effective learning must take into consideration both the international cognitive process as well as the external contextual elements. In online learning context, and here I have in my memory words of Danuta Pietraszkiewicz, Justyna Kowalczys, Magdalena Stable, and other great instructors from NATO DPE Academy, that in online learning context, but exceptionally in asynchronous learning, there are 2 properties: reflection and collaboration. This one shape cognitive present, I think, in my opinion, in ways unique to this communication method. The 2 dimensions that shape the practical inquiry model are something like deliberation, action, and from the other side, the perception and conception. So asynchronous and virtual nature of online learning calls on learners to be self-directed and to take responsibility for their learning. So that is to assume greater control of monitoring and managing the cognitive and contextual aspect of their learning. This is both a challenge and an opportunity for asynchronous online learning. The challenge is that teachers have the responsibility to provide structure and some guidance that will encourage and support students assuming interest control for or control of their learning. The opportunity is that asynchronous online learning advantages and promotes safe directed learning. This will most mean a move from the transmission of a lot of vast amounts of information, because we remember the beginning, the teacher sent lots of PDF, lots of presentation to students, and we move from this lots of information to the interactive asynchronous online learning based on some virtual communities. Students who are living in this virtual world, in virtual communities. So new technologies, new software offer also some positive and negative implication of knowledge. And here I found the great comparison prepared by Anna Shabukiani from Georgia, who show this pros and cons for asynchronous and asynchronous. Because some researchers argue that students don't achieve higher level learning in synchronous courses. I said in synchronous courses, but to understand learning effectiveness for asynchronous online learning is to the first appreciate what is the unique about this medium which we are using from most or from most to 2 years. It is how we integrate and use the capabilities of asynchronous online learning in a synergetic manner that make it unique. That is, it is how we combine and integrate possibilities that private and public world of student. It is important, public and private world of students that make the learning experience effective for all concerned. We as the teacher, also as the students, I also were the student of NATO-DB Academia and still continuing one great courses. We have to learn in how to use this technology for effective learning. Universities, academies are gather some experiences for this synchronous and asynchronous learning method, even that sometimes don't have possibility to divide which one is better for them. But in this regard, it must be made clear that this cannot be accomplished by way of sage on the stage or guide on the slide, nor will providing access to more information. And the educational process is far too complex for such mottos, which don't help in utilizing new learning technologies such asynchronous learning networks. So it isn't to improve learning effectiveness. From a learning effectiveness perspective, the key is not to give too much information for student. The first responsibility of a teacher is to motivate students for or to self-learning. Students need to gather, need to be under some hook on big idea where students feel connected and are cognitively engaged in this process. So where there is a community that supports and encourage idea to be critically analyzed, asynchronous learning has greater learning effectiveness. And here I have in my memory lots of words and discussion between me and Professor Ilona Urych, one of my colleagues who are here and listen to this presentation. Hello, Ilona. At the same time,
if you could draw your final conclusions, please, because I need to really observe the timing, and let me ask you really to finalize or to speed up. Over. Thank you.
Okay, Professor. So maybe the next information may be about our experience, our cases of asynchronous courses. Now I'm thinking about the cases derived from Polish Ministry of Defense. There are courses of high defense courses prepared for high rank representatives. And in comparison, I would like to say about courses under our project, under the higher education institution from Bulgaria, Greece, Poland, and Romania. This is the possibility to compare to asynchronous courses, because as I said, high defense courses, there are courses in comparison to the project, very short courses, but still asynchronous online. We know that the experience which we gained during these two different courses are like showing in this slide. So I will need to have more time for telling about the effectiveness of two kinds of these courses, but there are some obvious differences between a group of learners. And here, sir, Professor, I need some minutes for this one, because from high defense courses, the students are represented by high-ranked authorities from public administration. But in the project DDHI, there are students of the first and second level of study on behavior, on different characteristic and readiness for learning. But you asked me about summary. So the curricula on high defense courses has been divided into 15 main training issues and 5 specialized issues or subject. The criterion for admission, of course, it's up to the public administration authorities. But each group in course of high defense courses has obligatory subject and issue to choose. In total, each participant must learn 12 training subjects, including some practical parts, decision games organized here. So this is the element, what I said, that a student receive also asynchronous learning and let's say live meeting in university, but the one subject means about 15-30 minutes virtual speech and presentation. But in case of project, courses on DDHI the courses are composed for didactic and academic level. The whole project is consistent with 12 full-time subjects. So each of them awarded or being or having 5 ECTS points and at least 16 online lessons. So for this project, 40 hours online, so 12 subject times 40 hours, it's mean near 500 hours online. So this is the huge undertaking that require perfect organization, cooperation of teacher preparing this subject. So this 2 project has only one common element, 12 subject, but subject aren't the same what you see on this slide. So ladies and gentlemen, maybe no fact, but the FAQ, frequently asked question, most often asked for our courses is how effective was the course? It's easy for high defense courses and very hard for project to assess this courses because evaluation involves some systematic, careful data collection, some questionnaires, some no, let's say other document, but for high defense course, the workload is much more easier than in case of project. We also use the showing here method from AD model and also from a NATO ADL handbook when we assessed the first 3 levels, satisfaction, learning and impact in case of student, and also the last on the top of the triangle in case of whole some project. So ladies and gentlemen, I know final conclusion will be maybe better. Please keep your fingers crossed for the success of a project, which is very, very specific and hard didactic project. So Professor Piotr Gawliczek, dear colleagues, this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much that you maybe suffer, but you participate in this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Andrzej. Thank you very much. It was really amazing and fascinating because it is about the education and about a very special kind of education focused on future leaders, on senior officers, etc., etc. So the quality really matters. And let me ask the audience about any questions to be raised or asked. But on my hand, let me ask you, Andrzej, about the quality and what tools, as far as the evaluation of the efficiency, do you use from your perspective? Just having in mind that the quality is of utmost importance, and we need to take care of the quality. Over to you, Andrzej.
Thank you very much, Professor, for this question. Maybe I will back to this slide. Because still being close in relation with NATO DB Academy, so there are lots of possibility to study, to meet with great sources. For example, one of them is NATO Advanced Distributed Learning Handbook. This handbook, when we can find information about how to evaluate every subject and how to receive the high quality standard of every module. But for me, the AD model is a bit better because we have here 5 elements: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And here I think that we should focus more on the evaluation of this of projects. So it's mean E in AD because the key purpose of evaluation are to improve the training and include feedback in future revision. So how we organize this evaluation in our project? It is, of course, even according to the Kirkpatrick analytics model, we simply do our activity in three categories. The first one is, of course, to receiving some judgment from the student side. After that, we want to make some improvements, of course, and if we collect these two elements, we receive also some new knowledge about next edition of subject. But the best one for us are also the surveys. Surveys which we send to students in very easy, maybe dichotomy standards, like the answer yes or no, or true or false, maybe agree or disagree. Doesn't matter what kind of answer, in my opinion, of course, we will prepare. Even the rating scale, we know Polish system, the best one is 5, the worst is 2. But in my opinion, although these methods for conducting evaluation, the critical for each method is to protect the respondent confidentiality. So every student who sent to us the survey, sent to us other element we will send must be unanimous, because in this way we will receive the best answer, the best information about the quality of project. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Piotr, for this question. Maybe my answer was a bit longer because I'm fascinated this AD model, especially after courses in NATO Deep Academia, when the instructors Danuta Pietraszkiewicz and other great team offer the possibility to familiarize with the knowledge. Thank you very much. Over to you. I don't know what happened, but I don't hear you, Professor. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Piotr. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear, but I don't hear Professor Piotr Gawliczek.
Okay. Good day, dear participants. I'm very glad to be here with you, and some technical issues I see, but we will cope with them as well. And I am really happy to participate in this conference, and I did my best to be here with you, but to be on the safe side, I've prepared the recorded presentation.
Okay. Vicky, give me a chance. Give me a chance.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, perfect. Sorry, because it was really Murphy. And I noticed that there was a question also raised by by Dr. Jerzy Tomasik. And if we go back, Jerzy, if the question is short one, please address the question. If long, please discuss internally with Andrzej, but during the let's say other opportunity. Yes, short question,
question
please.
Is very short, but very provocative. I'm sorry for that. Professors, one question. I am not worrying about the quality. I am not worrying about the level of the education. I am worrying about the social link, social connection. We could observe it not in the high schools, but in the primary school, in the secondary school. How about the high schools if you are talking about the social links? Thank you.
Jerzy, just let me, before Andrzej will address, say, this is very, very important of a paradigm importance. And maybe this is the reason to organize the conference on this issue, not only asking about short explanation, but from my point of view, I see really the importance of this point, but it takes a comprehensive approach, holistic approach, because there are so many details, so many pieces, and it is not possible to solve just ad hoc. It takes many efforts and many persons or entities involved. Andrzej, over to you.
So, Professor Tomasik, thank you very much for this question. We observe how students create some virtual communities, how close in some communities. But from a perspective and from lots of discussion, I think that the motivation of every student and also charisma of professor can be this element which we partly break this problem, because we cannot force anybody for participate in 100% during even the normal physical classes. So I think that it is a great question, great idea, maybe for some symposium or workshop, professor, which we can organize between our institution and discuss about maybe not only motivation, but your question. So thank you very much. Piotr, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrzej. Jerzy, so let's keep in mind and
I
how
am
to approach.
happy for this answer. Thank you, Sir Professor, for this diplomatic answer. I am directing this question, this answer to Mr. Piotr. Mr. Andrzej, excellent answer. I think everything is depend on the teachers, on the students, on the situation, on the possibility and tools which are using during the education process.
Yes, I fully share your point. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's continue, but just not now, because time is running out. Okay, thank you very much. Andrzej, you can disable the camera, and dear participants, the time has come for the next point of this panel session, and you have just already noticed Lieutenant Colonel Valeria Krikun has shown, and she is the Chief of Scientific Testing Division, and she's responsible for test development according to NATO STANAG 6001, and she's the author of the concept of computer adaptive language testing. It's quite fascinating and a long story to tell, but still, before I will ask Vicky to take the floor, let me ask organizers to launch a video clip which was pre-recorded, and this is something for you to reflect, and maybe during this the clip you will have thoughts or reflections or questions. You will have a chance really to address the questions directly to Vicky as soon as the recording is finished. Over to organizers, and please, jeśli mogę prosić o film tutaj 10-minutowy. Dziękuję.
Okay, and good day, everyone, again. So I have prepared in advance to be present with you, and I'm lucky to be here. And as well as I have a presentation to show you our considerations on improvement our KELT, Computer Adaptive Language Testing concept. So, Piotr, please.
Yes, please. I
launch
will ask
and
organizers to launch the present. And then Vicky, just the technical point, because I was told that Gigi Roman will not make it if he's not available. So we have the time until 10:30. So feel free.
Mhm.
Today, digital tools and technologies are becoming the most important and necessary components of foreign language training and foreign language testing according to the NATO's TANAC 6001 requirements that provide higher quality of these procedures. Due to the wave of digitalization, we must implement best practices through developing adaptive capabilities based on the current context of test developers and test takers' needs. In order to support the Ukrainian Armed Forces language policy, we need to think about reinventing language testing procedures, and we should always bear in mind how innovative language testing methods will operate as digital transformation becomes essential and vital in the future.
We are here today to present new considerations on the methods of computer adaptive language testing, which was developed in the framework of the international scientific project of the NATO Defense Education Enhancement Program. Our topic today is computer adaptive multi-stage language testing according to NATO's TANAC 6001, background and benefits.
Computer Adaptive Multi-Stage Language Testing according to NATO's TANAC 6001, background and benefits. The KELT scientific project was initiated at the National Defense University of Ukraine, named after Ivan Chernyakhovsky in 2019. The experience of NATO partner countries is an important aspect in development of the KELT method. The KELT implementation was perceived as a solution focusing on practical recommendations concerning the development of the KELT method, the KELT algorithm, and administrative issues related to KELT. A computer adaptive language testing is a multi-level language test according to the NATO's TANAC 6001 requirements in 2 language skills, listening and reading. The KELT method is a kind of tailored testing in that it's a form of computer-based testing that is adaptive to each test taker's ability level. It means that it successfully selects questions for the purpose of maximizing the precision of the exam based on what is known about the test taker from previous questions. KELT is comprised of items selected from the item bank. So, the KELT is a dynamic test that selects item based on what is learned about the test taker's proficiency according to NATO's TANAC 6001 from his or her responses to questions. The KELT algorithm creates a unique testing experience for each test taker. The KELT algorithm consists of 3 blocks. The starting point block is responsible for generation of a random set of items of 3 levels for fixing a start time and processing of other necessary settings to begin the testings. 15 items for level 1, 15 for level 2, and 15 for level 3. The total number is 45 random tests for the test. The item selection block presents the main procedures concerning a logic of adaptation among different complexity levels. This is block number 2, item selection algorithm, and you can see the total algorithm. The scoring algorithm and termination criterion is the 3rd block of the KELT algorithm. Hello? And the purpose is to determine the foreign language proficiency level based on the result of a matrix analysis. And here there are levels. The CALT method piloting was carried out
Okay.
with the aim to confirm the validity of the developed theoretical provisions. The military students from
okay.
the National Defense University of Ukraine were involved in the piloting. 114 test takers participated in the experiment. They took a paper and passed the testing according to NATO STANAG 6001 in 2 language skills during the first phase of the CALT method piloting. The results of CALT show that 71% of the test takers have confirmed their language proficiency level in reading and 66% in listening skills. The results in listening comprehension test, 29% of test takers, and in reading comprehension test, 26% of test takers, demonstrate a discrepancy between these testing forms in favor of the CALT method. The case study of a successful national CALT piloting in Ukraine demonstrated that this type of testing can be introduced and can have significant benefits over paper and pen tests. After piloting the CALT methods, we found some aspects to be improved, such as implementation, item response theory, and there is the possibility to propose a variety of topics to each test taker. The CALT method is a 3-level test according to the NATO STANAG 6001 requirements. The test should provide different topics necessary to survive in the foreign environment. Level 1, according to NATO STANAG 6001, to function when we are talking about level 2, and to cooperate at professional level when we deal with level 3 candidates. At the same time, the item response theory helps to break up the item banks into sub-banks within the same level, taking into account the item difficulty of each item. Thus, we are going to implement some stages of adaptation into the CALT algorithm. Early multi-stage testing designs date back to the 1950s. The 1970s were the most critical years for MST advancements. That is because Frederick Lord and David Weiss created the basis of the first item response theory-based MST applications. Multi-stage test is made up of different panels, for example, a group of test firms, and those panels are in turn composed of different stages, for example, division of a test. The stages themselves are made up of pre-constructed item sets called modules at different difficulty levels. This means that at each stage some of the modules are easier and some of them are harder. In other words, some modules are more appropriate for low ability test takers, while some are more appropriate for high ability test takers. There is almost always one module in stage 1, called the routine module, which is used to establish the test taker's proficiency level. The test taker moves to the next module of the test based on her or his performance on the routine module. The number of stages, the number of the modules in each stage, and the number of the items in each module can vary from test to test. So there is an item level adaptation in CAT in contrast to the module level adaptation in the multi-stage testing. This feature brings the advantages of item review, item skip, higher control over test content, strict adherence to the target content distributions, and consistent item order. We have already looked through the CALT concept and the multi-stage algorithm. In the context of the CALT, according to the NATO STANAG 6001 requirements, we implemented only some multi-stage testing principles. We broke up each item bank into the sub-banks according to the content of the items and according to the level of difficulty of the items within each level.
Thus, we provide a fair item set for each taste taker because a new multi-stage CALT algorithm provides different topics as well as considers the item response theory provisions. With advances in science and technology, computer adaptive language testing has been proposed to cope with the problems posed by pen and paper linear tests. So far, computer adaptive language testing has been the most popular and commonly preferred. We believe that some superior features of multi-stage CALT tests, such as content and items difficulty balancing, are vital.
Similarly, some advantages of CALT, such as high measurement precision for the estimates and shorter test lengths, are also extremely important. We expect a new concept of the CALT algorithm, according to NATO Standard 6001, will provide these features in the same test administration model and provide a higher level of adaptability. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vicky and Sasha, for fascinating video clip. And because we should be really flexible and have just discussed with Maxim, maybe now we will take the opportunity to ask you questions because it's a really fascinating story to tell, and so many technical notions, abbreviations, etc., etc. And let me ask the audience about any questions to be asked to Vicky. And this is the unique opportunity. And to me, this is the story which will continue. And there are many ideas because I'm also involved in this project. And we need to take the next steps, maybe milestones. But now the product is being tested, and this is something to be aware, and that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. And as soon as the assessments, the appraisals, and the evaluations are gathered, we will be able to adjust, because it should be tested by the persons before we officially launch and make it available to any institution involved. And I think that it is also good to know that this is the process. This is the transforming of the approach to the testing. And English learning or English language is, let's say, one of the key priorities within NATO, to speak the same language, to understand and to be understood. And Vicky, this is something of importance you are dealing with, and I hope that you will be able to deliver tangible products as soon as possible. But first, the quality is of importance. So let me check the participants list. No questions, actually. I can't see, but so let me ask the one question, at least from my side, before asking Maxim to take the floor. What is the main reason for you to be proud of, to be satisfied? Because it takes effort, it takes time to spend on refining the products. But what gave you the reason to be satisfied? Transfer from the human touch perspective. Over.
Thank you very much, But for the question. The boring answer will be the requirements to the test: validity, reliability, security, and practicality. So, but to use the human approach, I guess the reason of satisfaction is the satisfaction by the taste takers and fair results, and that is why we are trying to improve our products based on the piloting results, and they will show us that we created not so fair conditions for the taste takers. And that is why our idea, the idea of our team, was to improve our CALT concept through implementation multi-stage principles. I mean, to divide the sub-banks, to refine the content, because content and to implement item response theory. So it was mentioned in the presentation. I don't want to go into details, but I would like to emphasize that our main idea is provide, first of all, equal opportunity for each test takers, to provide fair and true results according to NATO Standard 6001, and to provide opportunity to take the test according to the NATO Standard 6001 in any conditions in our countries, because nowadays in our situation it's very important to be flexible and to be flexible in the context of testing as well.
Thank you very much. I would strongly say that flexibility really matters. And thank you very much, Vicky, also Sasha, for having shown us the fascinating story about the cult, and the story continues. And hope we will have many chances to be familiarized with the progress achieved, and finally to take the test using the cult algorithm as a full-fledged solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Piotr. Participants, have a nice day. So
thank you very much.
Be safe. Thank you.
Okay, this brings me a chance really to introduce Maxim, who is the ADL Partnership Director, and also he is Director of the Scientific and Didactic Institute of e-learning. Let's say not ADL, because ADL it sounds very unclear for many participants. It's about the e-learning within the National Defense University of Ukraine. And Maxim, please let me ask you to take the floor and to continue until the break. And after the break, we will have you back again, because Gigi is not available. And I will ask you to share your points seen from the complex perspective. So over to you, Maxim, and please take the screen over.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to take part in your conference. And first of all, I would like to thank thank the Poland thanks for the whole Polish people to support Ukraine in such difficult condition. It's very important for us, this comprehensive support from the different perspectives. Thank you very much. And coming back to our presentation, what is the let me share the screen, and then we will check. I will switch off my camera and share the screen. Is it okay now?
It's perfect.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So what is the idea of our presentation? Actually, we prepared this presentation together with my colleague, Dr. Natalia Tarasenko, and the idea of the presentation is to show the way how can be the way of creation of e-publications, e-book, with the whole with the different elements connected to the actually dedicated to the electronic books. So we at the university, we have experience in the combination of the different tools, and as a final result, it can be really a nice electronic book, and almost absolutely for free it can be. So, sorry, let me, back, switch the slide. So what I mean on the interactive book, what is this? What is it? in our opinion and the general opinion, so the combination of the different kind of elements, interactive elements like video, tests, animation, etc., together in the one source, and at the same way it will be supported, such kind of elements, by the different from the different sources. I mean, from the personal computers, from the smartphones, and it will be customizable. So this is our explanation of the interactive book, like not only format of the EPUB for the reading, but also combination of the videos and different kind of interactivity. And the next slides, we will show such approach, how to combine different tools to receive e-book, interactive book, with the combination of all mentioned elements, interactive elements. On the slide, you can see that this just not all, of course, tools, but there are some tools available on the market, free and semi-free, with the some options of free using of the elements of where you can create the interactive books. Some of them also limited with the options available there. Some of them you can use just only the text or in video, some just for creation good graphics and so on and so on. But what is the concept should be followed to, in our opinion, to be very, very useful for the every teacher, I mean, not for the commercial using, not for the special trained person to create such books, but it's good to have solution which can be accessible for any teacher in any university. And in our opinion, it should be free, affordable price, or affordable price. And our solution, it's affordable price or free. It should be very easy to use. I mean, starting using. You don't need some special skills to develop, technical skills to develop books. Of course, interactive content should be implemented and can be used in the interactive books. It could be nice to have plenty of the templates to raise the idea of the visualization of the interactive book. As well, gallery of the different elements which can be used in the books, like buttons or some kind of graphics, or etc. And finally, when we create something nice, it should be published somewhere. There are several combinations. There are several options. Can be like learning management system, or on the website of the university as well. Why not? And let's see how to receive, how to combine all those requirements and receive the results based on our approach. So we propose to use different products which will be used in the combination. Of course, it depends on the purpose and which content are you going to use, but those four products in the combination, as a result, you can receive very, very nice and interactive book, let's say. So this is the H5P, Lumi Education product, Canva, and YouTube. Let's speak shortly about the options provided by every element, by each element. So the H5P, this is the product. It's there are several options of using them, free and commercial. On the website h5p.com, this is the commercial version, but on the LMS, you can see on the bottom on the screen, you can see the options available for free in the Moodle LMS and the Ilias LMS. You can use for free, and all interactive content are available there. You can see here. More than 50 content types are available, and everything it can be used in your interactive book actually. there is the element exactly called like interactive book in H5P. We use this element, and around 30 from available for the H5P, I mean 30 elements, content types are available within interactive book. Maybe who has not heard about the H5P at all before, maybe a little bit complex now understand what I'm explaining, but if you go to the h5p.org website and see the examples, you will understand what I'm talking about now. But within the interactive book of H5P, more than 30 content types are available, including tests, interactive video, different kind of tests, fill in the blanks, drag the words elements. So a lot of interactivity can be used there using the H5P. And actually, this is the main element what we will use to put together whole material. The next element, the next program, this is the Lumi Education, and Lumi Education you can download from the official website Lumi and install on your personal computer, and also it will be provide you H5P. But what is the main feature which we used from the Lumi Education? After the completion, you can publish as a HTML5 format and put to the any websites. I will expedite, Piotr, now, just for 4 minutes and I will finish. So Lumi Education we are using for the publishing of in HTML5 format, or SCORM, it's also export can be, then put to the websites. Another product, this is the Canva, and Canva we used mostly for the finding the templates and finding the different elements for our for the interactive book, like buttons, menu buttons, etc., etc. Everything can be found there and uploaded from the Canva in the vectoral graphics. So this is really a nice feature, and there are 3 options of using: free, pro version for paying, and education version. It's very important. Using the, for instance, International Teacher Identity Card, you can request for the education version, and all free pro functions will be available for you, and even more. So Canva, this is the graphic element from our set of the elements. And of course, YouTube, if you are going to use a lot of videos to make to not overload your contents in the some on the LMS or something like that, so you can upload the video to YouTube and use just the link from the YouTube. And as a result, you can see the result, our interactive book. It just uploaded to the official website of the university in HTML5 format using the Lumi Education. This is the visualization of the interactive book. Like you can see the content on the left, on the middle, on the right side, exactly the content. It can be used the templates. This is was created in the H5P. And this is the results of like main content are visualized. You can see the buttons from the Canva visualization. So this is the everything was done in the H5P, and just video from the YouTube, just put into play, and you will watch everything from the YouTube. Actually, this course was a course how to use the Moodle. We put a lot of more than 100 videos in the one book, and just giving the instructions and menu within the different topics using the approach of the interactive book. So thank you very much. It was the one of the combination of the tools to creating nice products, and those products can be published on the different any currently supported HTML5 supported sources like Learning Management System and the website. So in our opinion, it's quite convenient for any teachers. Any technical skills are available needed. So thank you very much, Piotr. This is all from my side.
Thank you very much, Maxim. I know that we are all tired, but not exhausted, but definitely we deserve a break. So let's follow the program, the agenda, and let's take a break, and let's be back in quarter to 11. So let's have a break, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your tea or water, name it. Thank you very much. Break.
Thank you.
Welcome back after the short break. I hope you enjoyed your time. And as I told, now we will continue with a presentation delivered by Maxim. And just let me say hello to Natalia Tarasenko, who is with us, and he was co-author of the presentation, which was delivered by Maxim before the break. And now, as soon as Maxim is done with his presentation, we'll have two more presentations to be delivered. The first one by Magdalena Stabla and the second one by Justyna Kowalczyk. So Maxim, let me ask you to take the floor. The audience, please reflect on the questions, on the points you are going to raise. You can ask Maxim about the current situation. It's up to you. Still, this is the opportunity for each of us to be well informed about the current activities seen from the National Defense University ADL or e-learning perspective. Maxim, so as agreed, please continue until 11:10 because Gigi is not with us. So let me ask you to take the screen, not the floor, to take the screen. Over to you, Maxim.
Thank you, Piotr. And it's an honor to share our experience, our, let's say, observation on using the ADL under the war condition. And at the beginning, I would like to emphasize that we have had since 2017, we have been developing our ADL system of the armed forces of Ukraine. And what we have now and experience what we gathered during that time, it helped a lot during the current situation, during the situation on the war. And it was really great support on the development of this system from the different our partners. It's we were supported by a lot on the developing infrastructure and training by the Norwegian's Ministry of Defense. Also within the DEEP program, we received a lot of trainings, personnel of university, personnel of different institutions. Also based off helps with this comprehensive efforts of the different organizations of supporting developing ADL system. We also became a member of partnership network of the ADL initiative, and all of that helped share experience with our military personnel. Our personnel on the operational strategic levels, which are studying at the university, the National University of Defense, and this has helped of sharing experience by them and starting by them using ADL technologies in their C2 bodies, in their units, and currently they are developing YouTube channels. They are also launching some ADL, making some short courses by themselves under their supervision, because they touch ADL and they understand how it can help in the work under the war conditions. So this is like a introductions why ADL is important and why we should support each other and share experience between each other, because the main thing, the main point, the readiness to the war, it's very important, and ADL is one of the things which can support and help to increase the readiness, and as a result it will help to fight and help to save the lives during the war. How the educational process change at our institutions. So mostly on the technical level institutions, they continue face-to-face studying, but ADL are using for providing some pieces of the information, some training, and I will mention it later in which way, because sometimes information which we have here in the university in the other academy or institutions they don't have. So, but helping the e-library or ADL platform, they just very shortly and from any place can receive this information. Next points in my speech will be focused on different aspects which we have to think about and can influence of the operational level of the ADL system. Because every aspect can influence on that, and every aspect can influence on capability of receiving the information from the ADL systems. The first aspect is this ADL staff. We all know that to support ADL systems, platforms, this administrative, in administrative regards, we need ADL staff. And during the war, especially at the beginning of the war or any combat activities, this ADL staff can be involved in other activities, not ADL activities. And it can happen that nobody will support the ADL system, ADL platforms. So this is the point, and we have to think about how to make the system less dependent on the personnel. So as much as possible, as many as possible processes make more in autonomously in autonomous mode. So without involvement of the persons, I mean like registrations, I mean make more centralized technical support of the system, not focused on the like institutions. So thinking about the processes which can influence and can bring the problem if there is no persons ADL staff who can support us for the some period of time. It can happen. Another aspect is the infrastructure of the ADL system. As you know, currently still continue on the different regions of the Ukraine, but actually we think the whole Ukraine currently we have rocket air attacks. It continues every day on the cities, on the civilian infrastructure, on the military infrastructure. For them, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's without the logic, but it can happen that you will invest a lot of money in the infrastructure and place everything in the institute or academy, platform, servers, storages, and so on and so on. And in 1 second, it can disappear because rocket hit to this building and destroyed everything. Actually, it happened in some civilian infrastructure, mostly in the Kharkiv, because Kharkiv was attacked since the beginning of the war. You know from the news, a lot of buildings, even universities buildings were destroyed, and also their capacity was there was no electricity, and sometimes it's not possible to, can be lack of fuel. So infrastructure, and how they solve the problem with the help of different companies. They shifted temporarily to the Amazon cloud, and from the Amazon they are continue conducting the educational process. It's mostly for civilian, I'm speaking, educational process. using their platforms, but they are now on the safe side because their infrastructure now in the cloud. So we also have to think for the future where to place our platforms to be on the safe side. It can be clouds. Cloud solution is the one of the best way, of course, but based on different restrictions on the different services, it can be possible or not possible, but infrastructure is very important. And actually coming back to the ADL stuff, why we have to think about the more processes should be make it in the can be operated in autonomous mode, because for instance tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands people can be involved in the ADL process. They will require some training. I mean, persons who mobilized during the war. And there will be no time to provide logging, passwords, register them somewhere. So we have to think about how to provide the training for them. If there is needs the access to the LMS, how to provide very fast access to the LMS platforms or other educational process from the other sources, but this problem can appear. So one or two persons in the ADL branch will not be able to provide everything to the different persons. And another aspect is personal data, because also you have to think about the, which data are you collecting in your systems, especially most data from the data of the military personnel can influence more problems for if this data can be hacked or collected by the enemies, but civilians as well. So we have to think very precisely what kind of data we will put to the different information systems and why. Because on the occupied area by the Russians, for instance, if they receive some information and they are trying to receive this from the local populations, if they receive the information about the former military, retired military, or even several years ago you were retired from the military, they can find this person and do whatever they want, mostly killed. So, and in this regards, personal data is very important to avoid situation when this data can be collected by the enemies and used against persons, and their lives can be under the dangerous situation. So probably to put to the LMSs or something like that some artificial data also. So we have to think about that as well, personal data. It's very sensitive. And the last, so I have 10 minutes more, yeah? Better, so.
Actually, Maxim, 10 minutes, but please leave the room for the questions.
Okay, 5 minutes, I will finish.
You are speaking a lot, but still maybe there are questions and the participants would like to raise over.
Okay. 5 more minutes on the format and access to the learning materials, for the training materials. What we found the best the best way, like I mentioned, tens of thousands persons can join the armed forces in the short time. The best way, what we found, is YouTube channels, different social media channels for sharing the information. I mean, short and simple videos, how to use different kind of weapons can be put there, how to provide the first aid, etc., etc. And YouTube will be not hacked, most probably, yeah. And currently there are several channels are creating on the different services, and very simple to provide just link to the channels, and people receive the trainings. As well, channels like Signal channels, Telegram channels can be used to separate a little bit information, and also for the training provided to make a little bit limited access to some kind of the information, not everything in the YouTube, for instance, if you need, and receive also feedbacks from the trainers, discuss some aspects within the small groups. This is the other way what we are using now, and actually micro-learning is very useful during the combat activities and war conditions, because people, they don't have time for passing the long courses. They need something short and simple on the demand. This is our observation currently, and as final remarks, constant access to the training materials is extremely important for during the combat activities, and all those aspects what I mentioned, it's we have to think about during the establishing or developing our ADL systems. And the final remarks. Very important and convenient to have some kind of single sources, joint sources, where open sources or some can be with the logging, where military personnel and civilians as well can find all links, all references to the different kind of training materials. It can be one LMS, it can be just the websites with the links. It's also convenient because when you have a lot of sources, to find those sources with the big variety, it's also complicated. And one of the way of possible cooperations within the NT program as well, we are thinking that to develop the course about the basics of the survivals in extreme conditions, like what you have to have at home, like a first aid, some ammunition, something like that for civilians and for military, how to use this first aid, what to do during the air attacks, how to deal with the on the psychological aspects within the crowd, so on and so on. We are thinking about the curriculum and coordinating this, but I think it would be really important course for us, and in the future for like translating and providing for the different countries, because security, it can be different situation, but hopefully everything will be finished and will not continue again. But to be readiness, it's very important to save the lives. Thank you very much, Piotr, and I'm open for the questions if there are. Or
yeah, thank you very much, Maxim. It was really fascinating to hear about the experiences and kind of the lessons learned, but more about the suggestions and recommendations. I can see the question, Jerzy Tomasik, but before I will leave the screen to Jerzy, a small reflection from our side. We spoke about the media as a weapon. We speak about the social media as a weapon. Now the time has come to say e-learning or ADL as a weapon, because we can influence and we can be influenced, and we should really know how to approach. And this is it. And Dr. Tomasik, if you would like to ask the question, please go ahead.
Yes, I've got only one question, but small remarks what you said, Mr. Professor, about the weapon. As I remember, in the concept of Stratcom of Ukraine, 2017, made for whole country, the information is a weapon, as war information, as a kind of waging of war, of course. And but it's small remarks. For me, very interesting because of the fact that Ukraine made a good lessons learned from the 2014. It is one, but question is connected to the technical issues. Maxim, you said a lot about the possibilities, but My technical question is connected to the possibilities during this war conflict about the connection. Maybe you could use, maybe you used this Starlink offered by Elon Musk. Could you give us some, if you can, of course, some information about it, about these technical questions?
Yeah, thank you for the unmute. Yeah, thank you for the question. So, as you know from the news, one of the way on the different areas, it's using the Starlink, of course, for the internet, but firstly, of course, for combat activities, but the big area of the Ukraine and the persons who is training to go to the field, they have mobile internet when they're staying on the camps or the units before going there. Also, there you could see, I think, from the defenders of the Azovstal, you could see that they published in the Facebook posts even. So they had connections somehow there. So the connections, there are interruptions, and somewhere it's a problem to receive, to connect to the internet. But they have the military, they have depends on the situation. So problems with the connection, it's not so I can say unsolved issue. There is the connection.
I'm happy with the answer.
Thank you for a good answer, because as I understood, each crisis situation, each war situation, it is very difficult for internet connections. In a big war, of course, you've got a very big war on your own territory. If you are talking about the big war, I even can imagine it. I think that internet connection wouldn't exist. It would be very, very big problem. Thank you for your explanation. Thank you for your answer.
Depends on the problem, the solution will be appropriate. So if there is the needs, there is the problem, there is the way how to solve this problem.
Agree. Sława Ukrainie, heroям sława.
Heroям sława.
Okay, thank you very much. The final point to the participants about any questions, about any thoughts, reflections as far as the current situation within Ukraine, seen from the ADL or e-learning perspective is concerned. If not, let me thank our Ukrainian colleagues for being with us. Maxim, Natalia, Vicky, Sasha as well. It was very, very important to meet you and to discuss and to really follow the current situation and the possibilities as far as the e-learning or ADL system solutions are concerned, and also about the importance of tools we are just introducing, we are able to reach, and we are able to develop and to introduce as far as the broader meaning, education and training process is concerned. So, Maxim, thank you once again, and please stay with us. Maybe questions will raise during the final two presentations, and it was really, really of importance for us to meet you and to hear your voice and to enjoy your presentation. Thank you very much, Maxim.
Thank you, Piotr.
Okay, so now the time has come for two final presentations delivered by NATO Deep e-Academy subject matter experts. So the first one is Magdalena Stabla. She will speak about the, let's say, our flagship e-instructor certification program. And before asking Magdalena to take the floor, let me share my personal reflection and just suggestion on the edition number 2. Actually, we launched this edition on 26th of February. 26th of February, and on the list of the participants, it was possible to identify 5 names from Ukraine. I reflected whether it would be possible for them to join, to attend the first subject, the inauguration ceremony. And I was really shocked, surprised. 4 of them were present and actively participating. Now we are closing subject number 6, and the participants from Ukraine are present, and they are enjoying to have the status of the participants and to attend the classes, the sessions organized on Saturday at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock Kiev local time. So this is my personal introduction, and let me ask Magdalena Stabla, who is NATO Deep Academy instructional designer, to take the floor and to deliver the presentation on the essence of the program we are so really proud of, and really to see the future and the big capacity. Over to you, Magdalena.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, Professor. My question is, can you see the presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks to the organizers. Also, thank you for being here. So let me start with our short case study about the e-instructor certification program. Here I have short agenda, what I would like to tell you about today. So I would like to say something about our program core team, also the program overview, program in numbers, and the lessons learned that we have from our postgraduate studies, and also our first edition, and also the second edition that right now is in the making. I will talk to you about 20 minutes, and I will try to make it brief. So I'm Magdalena, I'm instructional designer for NATO DIP, and I'm within NATO DIP for 2 years. And for this e-instructor certification project, I'm also the program assistant. So regarding the whole core team, of course, we have our professor NATO DIP Academy director, so Professor Piotr Gawliczek. Professor is responsible for contacting also the headquarters certification given. Our program manager also, Mr. Marcin Jóźwiak, who is responsible for any kind of academic affairs. If there's some problems with conducting the classes, if there's needs to conduct the to spin up, bridge the subjects, contact the tutors, it's all in his hands. Me, as the program assistant, I'm responsible for contacting the students, making arrangements with the rest of the tutors. And of course, we have our IT specialist, Mr. Artur Starosz, who is our technical support for our LMS system and also for our video conferencing tool, BigBaton. So what is the aim of the program? As we all know, during the pandemic time, it was like catalyst for all these events that were taking place, especially online. And the NATO DIP has served the educational events. And the biggest outcome of our 2021 and 2022 is the NATO DIP strategy for distance learning support that was already mentioned here. And the e-instructor certification program is also about making of the requested ideas, capabilities, and the issues that have been raised during all the meetings that were involved during these 2 years of online activity. And also our aim of this program, as you can see on the slide, is to prepare the civilians, the military faculties in this professional education to become fully operational in e-learning environment. And it's good to mention here that we have students from all the kinds of advancements, so from the beginners ones to the more advanced ones. We want to provide knowledge, the basic and the more advanced one, about how to design, plan, and conduct the remote classes and the courses. And here I would like to now talk something more about the e-instructor program in numbers. So as it was mentioned earlier, we have 2 editions. The first edition started in October 2021. And it was all after the e-postgraduate studies that were our edition 0, let's call it like this. And now we have lessons learned. So it's much more shorter. It's 1 semester, not 2 ones. And right now we are in the middle of our second edition, that is going to end in July. Both of the editions have 9 subjects that conduct of 2 online lessons and also asynchronous materials given to our LMS platform, Ilias. We have also 7-tier tutors, SMEs from all the matter experts. For every subject, there are 2 tutors, so to make it also more diverse for the participants, for the students. For our first edition, we have 20 alumni of our first edition. Right now, currently, we are having 30 participants that are actively going to the classes and participating in the meeting. We would also like to congratulate 3 of the most active winners, because our also important initiative is not that we only learn from the tutors. Yes, we don't have this teacher student normal role play. We are always trying to all learn from each other. So it's really important to also recognize the students that some of other students can learn as well, because it's all about learning together. So for the 3 most active and most active students, we have Jean and Lorraine Prize that I would like to tell about later. And for our 2 editions, in our first edition, we have 11 countries participating, 11 countries that users that were taking place during the first edition of the program. And now we are growing with every edition. Now it's 14 countries. I hope that with every edition, it will be more and more countries that will participate. We have also 6 partner institutions that are supporting our program. And of course, this is the NATO DPE Academy, University of Varmia and Missouri, European Security Defense College, NATO School, PFPC Consortium, Educational Working Group, and of course, WSB University in Dąbrowa Górnicza. Also, right now, we started to creating the booklet that will have a brief overview regarding the whole certification program overview, how it looks, how all the subjects are conducted, learning objectives, the idea behind all of the subjects step by step. And here you can also see all the subjects that are given during the program. So it was really important for us to have this. Every student will be able to learn from this. So we have from this general, so we are starting with this general subjects like advanced distributed learning. So just the basics information needed. So this is the beginning in the e-learning world. So then the subjects are planned to develop the key points that were made in our first subject. So with every subject, the students are given more and more specific knowledge regarding each of the e-learning tool. And it's only not about the methodological side of the learning, but it's also very important for us to make it also for the technical side of the learning. And here's a short way how each subject works. So we always have this intro email that are making our students to get to know what is going to happen for these 2 weeks, what they're going to learn about, some brief information how the subject will conduct. We are always meeting on our Big Blue Button support conferencing tool. So it's our working tool for synchronous meeting. For our asynchronous meeting, we are always using LMS Ilias. So here is the pre-work. It's always good to remember that this is not something that is mandatory. So sometimes it's the materials given, sometimes the pre-work, the homework is waiting after the meeting. So as I said before, we have 2 meetings. Between the meetings, there's also some homework to prepare for the students. And the most important thing for us is the quality assurance that we have before and during every edition. We are always trying to improve also every edition. So a very important part of the program is the participants' feedback. So we have a lot of satisfaction surveys. After every subject, we are kindly asked the students to conduct this really short survey regarding the satisfaction, what we can still improve during the next editions of the program. And this is also a lot of our lessons learned about this. Also, we are preparing the surveys after the whole course, and also the 6 months after alumni digital survey is also waiting, how the students implemented the course, how they feel after the edition, what it gave it to their work life, also if it was useful. Of course, here we have more about the John D. and Ryan Prize. So we are really focusing on making it happen for the students that also were contributing the most during the subjects, during the meetings. So we are really pleased to have always these 3 winners that are also be chosen by the other participants. So not by the tutors, but the other students. So this is all about what they learned from also each other. And also really important for us was this curriculum integrity that I also have talked about. And as I said, each subject, every student will have this possibility to nominate 3 other students for the award. So every winner will receive this deep coin, yes, that Professor has also mentioned earlier. And here we have short satisfaction rate of our first edition. Of course, there's a room to improve. So that's what we are also doing. We are now implementing all the opinions, all of the requests from the first edition. We are trying to implement it in the second one. So it was really important for us for the feedback. Also, there's a lot of initiatives waiting for our alumni. So there's some possibilities to continue with the with work together. And about lessons learned, there's a lot of room regarding this space. The biggest challenges that we face during the creating of the whole program, also during the program, I would say we could start with the time zones. We have a lot of participants from all the different time zones, also from the Canada. One of the tutor is also from the US. So the time difference is something that is really sometimes hard to change, to avoid. So if our lessons, our subjects start at 9 a.m., it's 3 a.m. for some of the students. The length of the subjects are the matters given also, or the homework or the materials, asynchronous work that is waiting for them, because as we need to remember, the andragogy students are much more different than the younger ones. So we need to take so many things under the possibilities that can happen under the account. Also regarding the problems that we can face is always the Morphy can hit anytime. So the technical connection problems, there's some participants that can be always they're on the duties, yes. So there can be problems with the internet connection, sometimes with the electricity. So how can we solve it regards of the absences? Because we are trying to have also this policy that there are 2 absences available for the whole time for this 6 months of the training. So there's 2 absences given. Of course, if the situation is difficult, it's flexible. We are always trying to be also flexible. So that's really short regarding the instructor certification program. If I could also just show the video regarding the okay, I will also show the video. So this is also our good promotion for our channel. This is a deep portal channel of that we are also giving some of the materials that are needed. And here we can see a short video regarding the closing ceremony of our first edition of the program.
Probably no voice.
No voice.
But there are subtitles. Okay, maybe this is the solution. Now, this is Murphy, another example. You can imagine there's a beautiful melody, something in the mood, but still this is about the participants and about the essence of this e-certification program. And Jean-Dan de Rais, he is the father of Invento, and he passed away 3 years ago, but still to commemorate there is a Jean-Dan de Rais prize named after him. And 3 persons received actually this Jean-Dan de Rais award during the last edition. And this is the list of tutors involved from the institutions Magdalena named. Certificate and the group photo using the technology available. Happy faces. Thank you very much. Great, Magdalena. I think that's it. Thank you very much for the presentation delivered on the certification program. And maybe just from my side, one point about the selection process. It is very simple. It's done via the NATO headquarters. Invitations are sent to all NATO and NATO partner countries, inviting to select, to nominate two persons per each edition, but for the academic year, for two editions jointly. And the selection process will start this July, and the invitation will be sent. And I think that if you are able, please take care of it. And happy to announce that there are 2 representatives from Poland for War Studies University. You had the chance to watch and to listen to Andrzej Soboń, who is the participant who attends this program. And maybe for the next year, for the next editions, why not to enjoy the Polish participants on board? But still, it takes certain effects to be coordinated. Okay, so this brings me to the opportunity to raise questions from the audience. If not, let me thank once again Magdalena. And now the time has come for Justyna Kowalczys, who is NATO JIP e-Academy Deputy Director for English Learning Training. And at the same time, she's with the Polish Naval Academy as the Deputy Director of Foreign Language Institute, if not mistaken. And let me ask Justyna to share the point as far as one of our flagships is concerned, namely multimedia creation course. So without any further ado, let me ask Justyna to take the screen and to continue with her presentation. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Very happy to be here and to be able to share few tips and trips connected with our flagship product, connected with multimedia creation for NATO JIP Academy. Before I start, I would like to ask about the presentation, if the presentation is going to be uploaded or I can do it myself.
Just short recommendation. If it's possible, let me ask the organizers to launch your presentation, and if it's go, then you can really follow the slides and ask about the changing the slides. Over.
Thank you. So maybe just in this time when the presentation is being launched, I would like to give a few words of introduction. It was a few years ago when working with IDL, we have decided that multimedia is an important part of education that is taking place online. Okay, I can see that still.
Yeah, we're still in waiting mode. But if there is no go, maybe you can take delete and you can upload your presentation using this the arrow. I hope you are familiar with the Teams. Something is okay. Yes, perfect.
Okay, it's already here. Thank you so much. Thank you. So a few years ago, before ADL has been popularized to a great extent as it is now, we have had those discussions about multimedia and its importance for online delivery. During the last 2 years, we could see the growing need for creating educational materials, both in audio and in the video form. And together with the emergence of a NATO DP Academy and thorough work on online course deliveries, we have decided to create a 2-week online workshop on creating multimedia for education. The purpose of today's presentation is to analyze the 2 ways of delivery that we have for our online course, which means the synchronous and the asynchronous learning. Multimedia tools for e-teacher and e-instructor would be the good practice that we would like to demonstrate and show step by step what kind of solutions we have applied in this delivery. I would ask for the next slide. These are the NATO DP Academy instructors, so the team comes mostly from Polish universities and academies. We have 2 specialists on podcast and videocast delivery, which is our colleague Urszula Doliva from Warmia and Mazurian University, and Gigi Roman, originally from Romania, but based in NATO school in Oberammergau. The synchronous and asynchronous methods of delivery are dedicated to 2 portals that have been used and also applied by the NATO DP Academy. As a synchronous delivery, we are using Big Blue Button for video conferencing. And with the asynchronous mode, we have this support from our Ilias platform, so NATO Deep ADL portal, which is really broadened and enables us different functionalities during our sessions. The workshop, as we can see from the course roadmap, is built upon 7 working days. In fact, we dedicated to 2 weeks, and we always start on Mondays. The workshop is divided into 2 projects to be created during our sessions and also between the meetings. So during week 1, our focus together with Urszula Doliva is the creation of the podcasts. We use Big Blue Button meetings on day 1 in order to talk and discover, first of all, everyone's experience and showing good practices, but later on presenting what we have for the most important tricks and tips for our participants. And then we are meeting together on day 3. This is the moment when the final projects are being presented. And the most important element connected with this meeting is the immediate feedback that is being given to both sides. So when the project is being presented, played online during the session, we, the tutors, can present the feedback to our project makers, but also we always encourage other participants to be very active, to take the active floor and to share their feedback to each other. Day 4 and day 5, this is jumping into week 2 and then working with video casting. we devote more time for online meetings because videocast creation enables us the usage of a greater number of tools. There are more solutions, and it's also important that the delivery that we present is really verified, depending on the technical advancement of our participants, which means that people who are not very much experienced in preparing multimedia before can still come to us and then can learn from foundations how to prepare the videos for education. And also the ones who have had experience, and this is also the perfect lesson to be learned to us and to check what kind of tools have been effective. This also enables going step up, level up, and then having this mutual dialogue. So day 4 and 5 again online, and day 7 also to present the projects and to enjoy the Oscar evening, as we call it. In the middle, as we can see, day 2 and day 6, it means that participants work individually, and in a moment I will discuss the ways of this individual work and the support. Let me now concentrate very briefly on the synchronous method of delivery and its specificity. Within the 2 years' time, it's not any miracle and any hidden knowledge. We have had, all of us, online meetings, and we know how important it is to be able to join in the community and to have this swift information channel. However, during the sessions with multimedia, we still emphasize that we are building the community, that it is our time to create and to make our NATO DIP family greater and bigger in the forces. This means that we need those meetings very much because we can see each other on the cameras and we can, in the real time, exchange information, exchange some questions, doubts, and this brings the future also fruit for cooperation. The points on the presentation, of course, very common, so no need to comment the real-time contact and the immediate feedback. But for us, the most important takeaway from those is the friendship that is being created during those meetings and creating the group of people who have the common goal, working with education and working with online delivery. During the sessions, we cover steps on creating podcasts and creating videocasts. So as the very basic element, we discuss how to structure the audio materials for education, but not only. So we are using the graphics, we are discussing and using the chat and also the polling options in order to exchange the information. We show the tools, we show them live, how they work and what type of solutions you can take when you are working online. So with this, we also emphasize how important it is to know the copyright materials and what type of external sources can be used when we want to still guarantee the authorship rights. Another important point during our online delivery is to present the tutorials. This means that we have a number of short educational videos presented, and we can show how to, for example, create a video from a PowerPoint presentation, or how to use the OBS software in order to prepare a more advanced video. So the video creation process is also being very much discussed and in details also by using the tutorials prepared for the sake of the project. Points to consider during our synchronous sessions. So first of all, we are showing our participants the path to follow. We always emphasize that it is the beginning of their adventure, and with this online delivery, we can present, but also we can guarantee the autonomy. Relation, another important point for us, and also immediate feedback, not only from us, but among the groups. Let me just mention this moment that the groups that come to our sessions are international. We, of course, have our Polish participants, but the groups are always mixed. So we have participants from different countries, sometimes really the distance ones, when the time zone is also a case, like Magdalena was mentioning in her program. So for us, these meetings are also a challenge, in the sense that we have to take care of the basic technical things like the internet connection, but also them enabling our participants to have the common ground, to meet each other, to discuss some elements, and to have the kind of relationship that can be beneficial in the future. Let me ask for another slide. And with this one, I would like to move on to our asynchronous delivery. Of course, with the big support of our Ilias platform, we have this possibility of contacting our participants in the not real time. This means that, first of all, when the time between the sessions appears, our participants can make the use of all the educational resources that we are providing them. We can guarantee that they can choose the sources and the instructions, and also some kind of templates that we have prepared at their own time, at their own pace. Important element to be guaranteed is also the access of our participants to the platform after the workshop. It does not mean that they get the access only for those 2 weeks when we are together during the workshop, but also afterwards. And this is very beneficial because we update the resources, the library of materials all the time, and our participants, only if they have this possibility, they can share some good practices with their colleagues in their institutions, and we know that this was happening. So this is an important also step for our online delivery, but not only for the time of the session, but also after. Okay, next slide, please. And here we are also demonstrating what type of tutorials our participants can find. A variety of them showing step by step the production. So how to use Audacity and how to edit the audio. And later on, what kind of video conferencing tools and also video creation tools can be used in order to create video for education. They are showed there. Again, it's important that our participants can access the materials anytime they want. They can have multiple times and approaches of watching them, and they are also connected with our YouTube Academy channel. This means that the participants can watch the tutorials also being looked out from the platform. So this is the great step in education, and definitely great support. And finally, again, the list of the tools to develop videos is growing. We also learn from our participants, as very often they demonstrate what kind of solutions they have been using. Sometimes these are just the telephone apps, but working very efficiently. So this is the element on the platform that also enables our users, our workshop participants to come back to and to learn about new tools. We realize that during a 2-week workshop, it's not possible even to check all the solutions, and we enable our participants to be immersed into this area after the time of the workshop. This is crucial for us. And finally, let me still tell that we would like to invite new participants to our online workshop. We have had dozens of participants so far, coming from different European, but not only, countries. Every session can invite 8 participants, so feel free to contact Professor Gawliczek for signing up for our workshop. We guarantee professional delivery, but also nice atmosphere, and we are very happy when our delivery reaches different NATO countries, and even more happy when we receive the projects and are informed about the projects that have been created after our workshop, and now they have been popularized using different social media tools and being used for education. So thank you very much. I'm ready for the questions.
Thank you very much, Justyna, for sharing with us the spirit of the multimedia workshop. As I can understand, today there is another OSCA evening scheduled because it's Thursday. And yes, I think that is something we can really be proud of, and the quality really matters. And I think that this is possible to deliver the highest quality as far as the time frame is concerned. But it's not just about the should I forget. It's shoot and start and go ahead. And while thinking again, let me ask the audience about any questions to Justyna as far as the multimedia environment is concerned, about any aspects. Please feel free to raise any question using the usual hand raised logo. Okay, I think that there are no questions, so everything is loud and clear. And yes, please feel free to be invited. And as I told at the beginning, no slots available until the end of July. We are going to relaunch the sessions starting from September. Mm-hmm. 8 participants per each session, so there's a chance to sign up and to be enrolled. Okay, yes. Maybe you can also speak about, because we have got just a few minutes at our disposal, about the products we are involved, and we can also offer, namely about the LTEC. Because there was a session on CALT, but we are also able to share the English learning training enhancement course. And you, as a deputy director, you are the, let's say, the main coordinator of this product. So if you could tell a few words about this courses available. Over.
Thank you very much. Yes, the LTEC is the flagship product produced many years ago, but now updated in this technological sense. There is LTEC 1 and LTEC 2, and this is our another flagship product and project, which is related to foreign language training. The objective of NATO Deep Language Practice is the preparation for using the English language in this military context. So LTEC prepares you for the military situations. This is the language of specialization that enables you later on to approach the STANAG 6001 examination. The training can be conducted informally in your institutions, so it is important to be registered with the military account on the JADL platform, and then the access should be granted. An important element is that the email is together with these military signs, so it is not, for example, the Gmail account. And it is again the self-paced study that you can take using or also multimedia, being responsive, giving you the answers back at the same time. And for this preparation in the area of language training for the military, this is the tool that definitely we can recommend. So I hope I have delivered the essence of the project, and also talking from the perspective of English language training and testing, we have the CULT project, which can be the next step to be taken after having had the self-paced study and education. We can think about computer adaptive tests, STANAG levels 1, 2, and 3, and having the listening and reading skills being checked so far. So these are those receptive skills, not productive yet, not speaking and writing, but listening and reading. But all of those areas are really being developed very thoroughly, and they complement each other. So we can talk about our online workshops, but also we can talk about the projects and products that are already available on the platforms. They are complementary and they really support English language training and education in general. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to add something to what you said, it's not only, I mean, LTEC 1 and LTEC 2, it's not only available on JADL portal. We have received, it was quite recently, the official permission from Polsat from ACT to run these courses from our LMS ELAS, from our portal. So we are also going to share, to promote, and to really spread the knowledge about this, or information about the availability of these courses, because after the upgrading them to using the articulate programs, they are really user-friendly and involving and engaging, and this is the added value. Thank you very much, Justyna, for explaining this this opportunity. And so I can't see any other hands raised, so it gives me really a chance to thank all the speakers as far as this panel session is concerned. I don't want to repeat the names. I think that you can remember all the persons involved. So let me thank again, and also for the questions being raised during this panel. And last but not least, let me thank the organizers for supporting from the technical side, technical point of view, this panel. I think that Murphy had been trying to hit us, but fortunately Murphy didn't succeed. And this is the message. So this is my final word, and let me just go to the first moment. Please reflect on the picture which was shown at the very beginning as a source of inspiration, of reflection on the current situation and possibilities and necessities as far as education and training and security environment are concerned. So having said that, let me officially close this panel session. The next session is is due to start at 12:15 in Polish without no translation. And let me thank you all, I mean the participants, the audience, for being with us. And let's meet, let's enjoy face-to-face in person meeting during the edition number 5 of this very, very interesting and important conference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mirosław. Thank you very much, Agnieszka. Thank you very much, and keep in touch. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bardzo dziękujemy, panie profesorze. Dziękujemy za poprowadzenie panelu, za kolejną obecność, ponieważ pan profesor Gawliczek jest z nami obecny od pierwszej edycji konferencji. Bardzo to sobie cenimy i zapraszamy w przyszłym roku razem z uczestnikami panelu. A teraz zapraszamy państwa na przerwę. Przerwa będzie trwała do 12:15 i zapraszamy na kolejny panel.